didn't think this through. Damn it, I forgot to close the door. Ugh. Hold on. I need something to see myself in. I hope the audio works. I will be using the tablet in our kitchen to hopefully... The internet is cooked on it, of course. Then again, I don't really want to like my main internet is down completely and my backup internet is downstairs. So what I did is move the backup internet as close to here as possible, trying to fucking get this shit sorted. Cheeseburger, toast your block of cheese, bake me a cake. You have a huge house, I can already tell all 3 stories at least. I told you Karn is rich. It is 3 stories. I got a crib, 3 stories, that bitch a trilogy, as they say. Alright, gamers. Here's the setup for now. This is all we have. What's up, Peach? Alright, this is all the stuff we will be using. I hope you guys can hear me well. Oh, actually... Wait, okay, now it should be better. My levels were a little low. Big pool too. We do not have a big pool. Alright, I should maybe close my window. Whatever. This is, I hope this lets you see me fairly well. Can I make the chat bigger? Why is there half an apple? Where's half an apple? Dude, where's half an apple? I cannot see half an apple. Alright, anyhow. No, I hope the quality is fine and everything. The setup is very jank. You guys gotta tell me when it's lagging. Okay, listen. This is gonna be spaghetti and meatballs, Adam Ragusia's recipe. And you start with, let me show you. You start with some stale bread, okay? This is not stale bread. This is bread that I thawed and that I then toasted to make it basically staled. This will go into the meatballs. We will be shredding it using one of these block graters. I don't know what they're called. Anyhow, I'm gonna sit down for this. You can do this while standing. I hope this is decently in frame. I'm gonna just get one of... I think this setting looks pretty decent. I'm just gonna grate this. I hope it doesn't sound awful. It probably does sound awful. You have me worried. Goodbye headphones. Is it actually that bad? Oh, you know what? I'm looking at this. I think it's actually... it's shredding pretty fine, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Anyhow, you might wonder why I'm doing this. It's because over the past... First of all, it's something I've wanted to do for a while. But over the past 2 weeks, I've heard from 2 friends that were like, I need to learn how to cook. And I'm just like, watch Adam Ragusia. But I don't know if they're gonna do this, so I have to do it myself. I'm gonna have to... Maybe they'll watch me, hopefully. I just order Chinese every day. I mean, that's good for the local economy, but other than that, probably not amazing for your bank account. All right, if you don't have stale bread that you can turn into breadcrumbs, you can if you just have breadcrumbs lying around for other stuff like putting on, I don't know, what do you put breadcrumbs on? Like schnitzel or something like that. If you make fried chicken, you might have breadcrumbs. You can just use breadcrumbs that are already done. They usually get a little clumpy, which I don't like. You can also use oatmeal instead, which is what my mom does. But I try to use stale bread or like, yeah, just like real bread. Can you do a cooking stream someday to make a craft dinner? They would have to sponsor me if it has to be explicitly craft. Also, I don't think we have craft in Germany. Bag of breadcrumbs always has crumbs at the bottom. Okay, actually you can see now it's getting stuck in the grater. It's because this part is like not dry, which is why stale bread is perfect because it's really dry. And that way you get like great crumbs. It doesn't matter too much as long as it shreds decently well because we're gonna soak these breadcrumbs in milk, and then it doesn't matter if they're like dry or not. They will be hydrated again. It only matters so that they're like easy to shred. Okay, the thing is, like, I don't think baking is like cooking. I think you don't have to be precise with measurements. I'm not gonna measure anything. I'm just gonna eyeball everything. But if you want, look up Adam Ragusia's recipe, follow the measurements exactly. I can link it as well. But me personally, I don't think I need to like measure stuff. I just eyeball it because I have a feeling. Roughly, I would say for the meatballs, it's like 2/3 meat and then 1/6 Parmesan and then another 6 bread, approximately. But you don't, it's like all vibes based. You just have to know what you would like. Vollmilch, yeah, that's whole milk in German. All right. These are the breadcrumbs we currently have, which I will now, I think they're enough. I'm gonna put them in on this plate here, little children's plate. I might need a little more. I'm gonna go a little more. Problem is my bread looks like this. It is not like it doesn't really have the structural integrity necessary to grate it properly, which is why you would want stale bread ideally, but whatever. Just gonna get a little more. I'm gonna eat the rest because you can never get it down. Bet you eat out of the child's plate every day? Nope, I don't. All right. Now, I hope you guys can see this. I'm gonna pull the plate back a little so you can see it. I'm gonna soak this in milk. I don't know how long. Basically, I'm just gonna do like a bunch of other stuff while I let this soak in milk. I'm not gonna put all of the milk in the meatballs. I'm gonna like squeeze the breadcrumbs a little, but yeah. Karn actually knows how to cook. Of course I know how to cook. It's like, I interned at 4 different restaurants. And I've watched a lot of Adam Ragusia. Yes, I washed my hands, of course. Okay, hold on. I need these onions to be in frame. I will be cutting some onions. Okay, listen. Ideally, you would have onion powder for this. Why? Because if you use raw onion, they're just like, you can't get them super duper small. And if there's like pieces of onion in the meatballs, the meatball is more likely to break apart. I don't have any onion powder. So this is what we're stuck with. And I actually think I want to stand for this. And I just realized I have the onion the wrong way. Shouldn't be an issue. But I just want to get this as small as possible. Actually, you know what? If I could, I probably want to get like a little closer so you guys can see better. Of course, we're gonna take all of the skin off and all that stuff. I really hope this onion doesn't make me cry, but there's no guarantees. I'm secretly Michael Myers. Do it yourself, use sharp knife is not really dangerous anyway. I mean, a sharp knife is safer to use than a dull knife, actually, when it comes to cooking. So yeah, I would recommend that. What's up, Andrew? Tell small children to have a parent help. Listen, if you're under the age of 12, do this with a parent. If not, you can handle it. Whatever. I'm gonna slice the onion that way. That's actually not the proper technique. And also, yeah, the onion is hitting a little. I feel it in my eyes already. That's a bit annoying. Just gonna peel the onion. You can also, if you want it to be faster, you can also just like dump the outmost edible layer. That's easier, but that way you will lose out on some onion. We're actually not gonna need that much anyway, because if we put in too much, I just took 2 onions because they look tiny. But realistically, we probably only need 1, because it's 500 grams of meat. I don't know how much that is. I'm gonna use the knife to get under the skin here. Whew. Good thing you guys can't see me. I'm actually tearing up. Very annoying. I saw something on the Kitchen Confidential subreddit where they were like, we convinced the intern that if you stand on a wet towel, onions don't make you cry. I thought it was so funny. You know what? Screw it. We're only gonna need like 1 onion realistically anyway. I'm gonna have all the skin on my cutting board for the most part. I'm gonna just dump this into the trash so it doesn't get in the way. Don't cry. Sorry. It's a reflex. I don't know the science behind it, but it does exist. Ugh. All right. Cry? That's so mean. That's so mean. Okay. I think you told me about it before and I already heard it. What about a cluster of pandas? About Grumpy again? You don't have to call him Grumpy. Come on, Twisted. All right. Cut this bit off. You don't need it. I hope my hand doesn't get in my hand or my knife don't get in the way too much. Ideally, you would be filming this from a top-down perspective. I mean, if I had a freaking GoPro or something, I suppose I could do that. I'm gonna quarter this onion again, and then I'm just gonna cut this down here. Listen, you don't have to go fast. I'm not going super fast either, but just go as fast as you feel confident. You're not working in a professional kitchen. You don't have to get this shit out as fast as possible, unless you're like cooking for relatives at a holiday or something. In which case, you might be under a little time pressure. Also, you should never cook while hungry, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. But I ate a bit of bread, so I feel better now. Do not cook while hungry. Okay. Also, I need to show you guys this. If you're gonna grip something and cut it, you need like the claw. You need to put like this part of your finger in front of your fingertips so that when you if your knife slips, it can't hit anything basically. That's important. Carnivore cooking with this one. Yo, what's up, Lassie? Did you get that microwave? All right. I'm just gonna try to get this as small as possible. This isn't even the best technique for making onion cubes. There's a better technique, but I cut the onion the wrong way. So I cut them fairly thin. It should be fine. I hope it's not gonna get annoying. We will not be using any binding agent to bring these meatballs together, because I don't think it's necessary. The breadcrumbs are kind of the binding agent, but I hope they won't fall apart in the pan. But there's a chance they will, and if they do, you know what? That's life. Long ass fingers? I don't even have long fingers. You don't understand. If I had long fingers, I could palm a basketball, which I cannot. Which is sad. What step are we on? I guess this is like still step 1 or 2 kind of. Like we haven't even started with the meat yet. The meat is of course already ground and shit. I maybe should have used a bigger cutting board. I just had this one out already. It's kind of annoying. There's shit everywhere. Uh-oh. Okay. We're almost done with the onions, which means I'll be done crying, which I look forward to. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Nobody's really gonna see this onion. Like, nobody's gonna judge your how small like your onions are, how small your cubes are and shit. You just want to make them as small as possible so the meatballs don't fall apart as easily. Funny how it's 1 a.m. for me and you're streaming yourself cooking. I'm hungry. No. Tomorrow I'm on a 7-hour ride after school. This camp better be good. Listen, I'm sorry I can't really read chat as well as I usually can. I'm also reading with a bit more delay because the thing I'm reading off is our kitchen tablet, which also has the viewing delay. So there's gonna be a little delay when I read your messages, and sometimes I might not see your message at all, which I'm sorry about. Also, Lassie, I hope you don't have to like get up too early tomorrow. All right. Okay, we have 2 things done. We've prepped all our shit for the meatballs for the most part. All right, these are the onions. I'm gonna move them out of the way for a second. My breadcrumbs are probably soaked. Okay, this is the meat. This is 500 kilograms of ground beef. It is not supposed to look like that. Okay, this is gray. This looks like it's almost cooked already. The reason it looks like that is because it's out of the freezer. It's thawed. That's why it looks gray and not red. It's supposed to look red. I thought that was the noodles. That would have been some weird noodles. Anyhow, I smelled it. It will not be. It will not be bad. It's fine. All right, I have to show you guys something real quick. Oh, that was a little loud. Okay, listen. Usually, if I made these meatballs, I would make them in a bowl like this. Okay, but that bowl is very high. If I did this in a bowl, you guys would not be able to see anything. Looks more like udon and meat. How are people up so early not sleeping? If you don't mind me asking, I always sleep at night. Some people can have the luxury of having a bit of a different sleep schedule. All right, basically, look at this. You know what? There's actually not as much milk in here as I thought. I think I'm gonna just dump it all like on the thing. I just watched Adam Ragusa's video again, and he talks about how the milk proteins like help get a nice like caramelization, and they're good for flavor. So you know what? I'm not even gonna squeeze these out. And then I'm gonna get my onions, which you know what? I'm not even gonna use all of them because I'm a little scared. And dude, I almost forgot the cheese. We're not even done with the prep yet. We have to do the cheese as well. Swear it looks like noodles. That's crazy. It's not noodles. The noodles come at a different point. All right. Here is our cheese. Pecorino Romano, I think. It's Parmesan, okay? It's hard cheese. It's important you do this with hard cheese. It doesn't have to be Pecorino Romano. It doesn't even have to be Parmesan. It has to be hard cheese. Why? Because you cannot grate soft cheese. You have to grate this. I'm gonna try the block grater, but if that doesn't work, if the block grater doesn't work, I will be using a different cheese grater that we have. So I'm gonna just, I'm holding it close to the, you know what? It's kind of a lot gets stuck, but should be fine. I'm gonna try to get roughly, you know what? Not a good idea. You see how this fell apart already? Also, a lot of cheese is getting stuck in here. I'm gonna use a different grater. I'm gonna try to use approximately as much cheese as I do breadcrumbs. I'm just cutting off a block here, and then I'm gonna use this other grater where I open this up, and there's like a little drum in there that I can spin. I throw in the cheese, I close the top, and then I start spinning. However, the disadvantage is you can see the cheese comes out a lot less finer. It comes out in these little strings. It shouldn't matter. I am making spaghetti and meatballs. It's in the title. This is very satisfying, I gotta say. We can also make a little more cheese and put it all over the top later, but for now, I think this is good enough. I think this should be enough. All right, back to it. I think the plate I chose might have been a little small. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Just dump it on there. We can already mix this. I'm gonna put in my spices before I do as well, so everything gets like, I don't have to mix as much basically. All right, spices. First of all, salt. I'm not measuring anything, okay? It's all vibes based. If you're not confident in how you season stuff, just do this. Take a tiny, tiny bit of the mixture, fry it, taste it. If you like how it tastes, you can fry the rest. And if you don't, you know, you gotta change stuff until you like how it tastes. I'm just putting a bunch of salt on this. This is a lot of meat. I'm also putting black pepper. And garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic, but garlic powder is easier. Salt is not a spice. You're dumb as hell. Of course it's a spice. Garlic powder, not... Oh, of course. Classic garlic powder, always getting dried up. I actually need to use a spoon or something because it's stuck together. Dude! That shit is a solid block. Okay, thankfully I do have another, I have another thing of garlic powder, but if that one's also like completely stuck together... Okay, they're basically blocks. We have to improvise. Both of them have completely hardened up, and salt is not a spice, it's a rock. Are you... Sorry, rocks can't be spices now? You need to put on royalty-free jazz. The silence is awkward. I'll try to keep talking. You know what? I did think about this, but I don't have any way of doing it because I'm streaming from my... I am streaming from my iPad. All right, we are in the pantry. I am getting garlic. I think I'm gonna go with 2 cloves, maybe? That's one. Let me get another. That one's mass. Okay, those are 2. Okay, here we go. All right, change of plans. We need to get some freaking garlic. I'm gonna use the bigger cutting board because it's easier. Bluetooth speaker, that's gonna sound ass. My mic is not gonna pick that up. That's not gonna work. Italian music. You guys know the Spider-Man 2 pizza theme? Like... Okay, this one's basically already completely peeled, which is fantastic. The way I like to peel garlic is I cut up this little hard piece at the end. And then like I just peel it with my hand. Some people will put it in a glass and shake it. But look at this, it came right off. Spices and aromatic or pungent vegetable substance used to flavor food. Yeah, sorry, is salt not aromatic, Gaba? I think this is your worst. This is your worst take ever, in the sense that you're just objectively incorrect. What if you cut your finger and it gets gory and you get banned? I wouldn't get banned for that, but I do have to. It doesn't have to be a vegetable, you moron. Is pepper a vegetable? Anyhow. I kind of have to cut off my hand later for the clip. I hope you guys won't mind that. I need my garlic press. You could also finely mince this garlic, but yeah, I'm using a garlic press. My brother has entered the kitchen. I think he is hungry.
Warum ist das Hackfleisch grau?
He's asking why the ground beef is gray. Because it was in the freezer and it was thawed. That is... Alright.
Ich fahre in den 24/7 Laden.
Alright.
Brauchst du noch irgendwas?
Nope.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Have a great stream.
Thank you. Herbs and spices are obtained from plant. Salt is neither a spice nor an herb. It's actually a mineral. You use it to season stuff. It's a spice. You use it to fucking season, so it's a spice. What the fuck? Warny car exciting? Well, he wasn't. I guess he did wave his hand if I was a car. A spice is a plant? No, it doesn't. Why the fuck does a spice have to be a plant? You said earlier you said vegetable, now you're changing the definition. Why? Not a rock? It's a tasty rock. You use it to season, so it's a spice. I don't understand what's so hard to grasp. Anyhow, I'm using this garlic press to press the garlic. Like I said, 2 cloves. I'm using a little knife to scrape the stuff in the garlic press together. So I try to have as little get stuck in the garlic press as possible, but there always will be something left over. Dude, Gabad, the definition you sent me, it said an aromatic. Both of you are yapping? I'm sorry. I mix up vegetables and plants, may the heavens forgive me. Listen, Gabad, if you're gonna be fucking facetious, do it right, okay? If you're gonna argue definitions, you're gonna have to get your definitions right yourself. Otherwise, you will look like a fool. All right. Here's my garlic. It's stuck. Garlic is very sticky, so it sticks to the cutting board. I'm gonna dump it with the rest of my stuff. And I think after the garlic, I actually need to use a knife because it's so stuck to the cutting board. Always use the back side of the knife when you're scraping stuff so the knife doesn't get dull. I'm sorry you guys can't see that perfectly. My mistake. All right, last thing. Final thing. Salt is a seasoning if you want, but not a spice. What's the difference? All right. We already used salt. I'm getting mixed up. All right, a bit of cayenne pepper. Just a little bit. I just watched the Adam Ragusa video again. I never remember to do cayenne. I usually don't do it. But you know what? Let's try it. Let's try it. All right. We're going to have to use our hands, okay? Use your hands. Bring this together. Adam Ragusa talks about he wants to make it very loose and like not make it as homogeneous. Me personally, I don't know. I'd rather it come together properly so it doesn't fall apart in the pan. Salt by all means is a spice in terms of usage, that's what I'm saying. But we don't gotta get caught up in all that. Anyhow, salt goes in the meatballs. It also goes in our boiling water, which we will use for our noodles, which are spaghetti. But you could make this with any kind of noodle, really. You could also put like some meatballs in lasagna if you'd like. I think in the show Chef they do that. Sounds interesting. All right, you can fairly easily see how well this is mixed, right? Because the breadcrumbs and the cheese, they're a very different color from the meat. So we want this to look approximately all the same until it's like one big glob, effectively. No gloves is insane. Don't you want to take your watch off? My watch is... Listen, if I was in a restaurant, I don't even think I'd be using gloves. But some people always use gloves. The only benefit to gloves is you don't have to wash your hands later. My watch is super duper far away from the meat. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. But if I was gonna get like... no! I hope my stream's fine. Internet is taking a hit right now. Okay, we're good. But if I was gonna go like to my elbows deep in something, yeah, I should probably take off my watch. All right, I think this looks decent. It looks fairly uniform to me. I'm gonna get another plate. And then I'm gonna roll these out into meatballs. I usually just use the one hand for this, usually because I don't like to get both of my hands dirty because I want to touch something. Spices, as spice come from plant seasoning, is a term to englobe all ingredients used to enhance flavor. Okay, can you tell me a seasoning that isn't a spice, except for salt? Can you give me one more? Chef's mentality. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to make these meatballs all the same size. Smaller meatballs have more surface area proportional to the mass of it itself, which means they're gonna be crispier and they will also cook better. So I'm gonna try to make these not super freaking massive. Also, if I make them smaller, they're less likely to fall apart. Yeah, but like I'm going for something a little smaller than golf balls, I guess. If that tells you anything, if you can do anything with that. I think I will probably not multitask. This looks like the paper mache they used in Art Attack back in the day. Listen. Like I said, the ground beef is thawed. It is not supposed to look like that. The ground beef is grayer than it should be. In the finished product, hopefully it'll look the same. It should look the same. And hopefully it's not gonna give me food poisoning. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. This also reminds me of when I did like potato dumplings. It's also a very similar procedure, but I think potato dumplings are a lot more difficult. Mine ended up looking like asteroids with like craters everywhere, which is a little unfortunate. But you know what? This is also, they're gonna kind of be like that. I'm not gonna use an ice cream scoop to get the perfect shape. Garlic, soy sauce, vinegar, basil, etc. Is that seasoning or is that a? I guess I would give you garlic, but garlic's a plant, dude. And soy sauce, that's a condiment, dude. Basil is an herb. Basil, I don't know, is basil seasoning? I would have to look at the definition later. But basil's also a plant. I hope the delay is fine, but it should be, honestly. Also, this is nice because I can look at chat for the most part. So, herbs or seasoning? Yeah, probably. I'm gonna have to look at the definition later. If salt is a spice or not. If so, then if I like, and I may as well be wrong on this. But since it's used like alongside pepper and shit, I would say it's most definitely a spice. But maybe, hey, maybe it's just a seasoning and not a spice. All right, okay. This should be, if you go towards the end of the meat, you might have a meatball that's a little bigger at the end because like what I have left over isn't enough to make two, so it might just be a little bigger one, but whatever. I won my League of Legends game playing on iPad Pro. That's funny, I'm streaming on iPad Pro. On a 5-game win streak. I mean, I understand why you think it's a spice, but it does not make it correct. It's funny how the truffle messages appear in a different order than the YouTube chat messages. All right, I'm transporting this over to my stove alongside, and I'm gonna move my setup here. 1 second. Oh, I should wash my, before I do that, I should wash my hands. All right, most of the stuff, listen, the kitchen is gonna be a little bit of a mess when you do this, okay? That's always bound to happen, but if you're cooking for not just yourself, you can make it so you cook and the other person cleans the kitchen. I think that's usually a pretty good arrangement. All right, now we have to make sure the pan is very nice in frame. We have our spaghetti here as well. I'm gonna move them a bit out of the way so you don't get too distracted. Okay, listen, this is an induction stove, and you will be hearing a bit of a noise throughout the process. That noise I cannot turn off, it's unavoidable. Also, usually there's this ventilation thingy above the stove. If you're gonna cook, you should turn it on like this. It's basically a fan that sucks up all the air. But since that's probably gonna ruin my audio quality, I will not be doing that. Do not tell my mom about this, okay? That's very important. How long do you cook meatballs for? Until they look right to me. I don't use a timer. I just use my eyes. And until they look like nice and crispy and not burned. Also, don't just use your eyes, use your nose. They also have to smell right. I wonder, I think I need a bigger pan, dude. This pan is probably not big enough. I will be using a different pan. I'm telling you, have no way of contacting my mother. I think I need to move my other tablet, otherwise I won't be able to read the chat. I hope the audio's still off. Not quite. All right. Don't topple over. I need to read this chat. All right, this is very cheap vegetable oil. You guys don't need. You guys could use something nicer. You guys could use olive oil or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You don't need a lot of oil. These things are quite fatty. There's gonna be quite a lot of fat coming out of them. Shoot. I think the only other pan I have is not that much bigger. Unless I take the giant one. What if we just take the giant one? But then it's gonna cook unevenly. Does your mom not know you're cooking? She might be watching the stream. I don't know. It's possible. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna do them all at once. I want to eat plain meatballs. I'm hungry. All right. We will simply not cook them all at once. I'm on camera. Oh no! Wait, the shot. Lamau. I'm gonna move this a little. No, it should probably be like as far away from the pan as possible, so I don't get too much grease on it. Listen, I would actually I'm wearing an apron right now. A little bit of it is for show, but with this sort of stuff, there could be quite a lot of hot grease flying around. So I would recommend wearing some sort of apron or something to protect your clothes and protect yourselves. I'm probably gonna get a little bit on my skin. I'm not wearing any long sleeves, but that's just life, you know? All right, I'm gonna put it on 7 out of 9. I would say this is medium to high heat. Put meat back? No. All right. Just gonna put a little oil. I'm gonna show it to you. Once I take the pan off, the sound goes away. Why? Because this is all magnets and stuff. I'm gonna wait for that to get hot, and then I'm gonna put in my meatballs per hand. Any mom other than Carney's mom would have woken up after like that mixing bowl sound Carney made. Listen, they're not home right now. They're on vacation. They're somewhere else. It's a holiday today. It's German reunification day. Wow. All right. I'm just hovering my hand over it to feel how hot it is. I'm gonna get a spatula. We will be using this. We may use more than one. Meatballs is usually a little bit annoying. Why are you saying racist? Anyhow, I think all of these meatballs would fit in the pan, but it would get a little annoying to move them around. I think I'm gonna need you know what? I can use the small plate that I had from the defrosting. MasterChef? I don't think I ever watched MasterChef. Actually, no, I probably did. At least I probably watched somebody react to it. Listen, most streamers are out here reacting to MasterChef. I'm out here living it. It's because I'm French, isn't it? No, I just don't like to have like another electronic device on the screen. Yeah, it's probably hot enough by now. Also, if it was because you're French, it would only be xenophobic. It wouldn't be racist. All right, you should probably. I don't know if you guys can hear that. They're making a noise. They're crackling a little bit. It's that classic frying noise. I hope it doesn't get too loud. I think this should be enough meatballs for the pan. I just want to be able to move them all around still. It's gonna get fairly loud pretty soon. I don't know if my mic will pick it up or not, but yeah. And now we just wait. I think we should make sure they get enough grease. Okay, listen. I'm using a Teflon pan. It is very important that these things don't stick too much. Why? You're gonna have one side of the meatball cooked, and if it sticks to the pan and you try to turn the meatball over to cook the other side and it sticks, the meatball is just gonna fall apart, okay? So it's very important the meatball doesn't stick. You don't like me, huh? Come on, Gaba. You know I love you. Sizzling sounds. This is a bit of ASMR for sure. Unfortunately, you guys can't smell it, and guys also won't be able to taste it. Both of these are pretty vital. But you know what? Use your nose, use your eyes to see how done they are, and then you will be able to judge it accordingly. 911. Not love doesn't have to be romantic, bruh. What are you? Let me guess. An idiot sandwich. I'm gonna move my spatula. Maybe I'm gonna move my spatula to the other side. My mother always tells me not to have the spatula over the heat because it's plastic and plastic doesn't react too well to too much heat and stuff. We're not gonna try to get it melted. Actually, the emoji are so small for me. It's really hard to see. I gotta be honest. We can move them around a little, just make sure they don't stick. We already have some sticking a little bit, so this one's been a little compromised structurally. This one is also sticking a bit. So just gently nudge it to make sure it doesn't fall apart. We also probably put a little too much oil. All right, that one's stuck as well. The thing is, if they develop a bit of a crust, they will actually stick less if they get seared properly. Maybe fork. The stupid emoji fountain blocks it. Fork might help? I don't think so. I'm gonna use another. I will be using something else. I think I'm gonna just use another spatula because turning these things with just one object is actually kind of annoying. Actually, we could use a fork for that. So you know what? Maybe you have the right idea. You know. Love that smell. All right, I'm looking at it. It's looking fairly brown. Usually, you can also tell by the color that the meatballs have how far along they are. But since this meat was already gray when I started with it, we're not gonna get so much information out of it. All right, I'm gonna try rotating this one a little. See how it looks. All right, I hope you guys are able to see that. We got some nice browning on it. I think the others can probably wait a little bit longer, but just turn one over and then see how it looks and then, adjust accordingly. I think it's also really important you don't go too high on the heat, otherwise you're gonna put yourself under a lot of pressure. I would say you should probably cook these from like 2 to 3 sides. I know it's supposed to be a sphere, right? But realistically, by the end of it, they're gonna be a little deformed. They're gonna be more like a pyramid or something. Or a rhombus. It's actually a great term, rhombus. Look at that. That looks great. Some stuff is gonna get stuck to the pan, but that's not super bad as long as it doesn't burn, because we will be using it in our sauce. And now it's actually, the grease is getting everywhere. Oh boy. Don't screw me, Nightbot. I hope the command works. There it is. Alright. This one over here, concerning. This one over here is already falling apart a little bit. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you. Now, usually I would make my spaghetti at the same time while I'm doing this. But if you're new to cooking, you don't have to multitask. It can be a lot of pressure. I've had my noodle water boil over like more times than I can remember. And I think we're just gonna go step by step and keep it simple. Now, usually, if you're doing this, you should probably have a video of it on, but if you're like more familiar, I usually watch something while I'm cooking. I'll usually watch like a podcast or a Northern Line video or something, or maybe you can listen to some music. Just don't do that if you're gonna be cooking with somebody else, because then it will get really annoying with the communication. Okay, this thing is like, it's really screwed, I gotta say. It's looking not ideal. I think we should be flipping again. And by flipping, I mean turning. This is not a pancake. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Again, we don't want to like super overcook them. This one's stuck a little, but it's fine. Yeah, we've lost a little bit of the meatball along the way. It'll happen. As long as it... Listen, we're gonna tear these apart anyway when we're eating. Oh my god. Where is Seesaw when you need here? So he can more intensify it. Listen, I gotta get down a little bit. I'm gonna have to take care of something. Unless I can do it on my... Imagine I can do it on my phone. Where's my channel? There we go. All right, here we go. Oh, I can do it on my phone. That's so convenient. Oh, there's a YouTube guideline update. Very interesting. I just got an email. All right, listen, we kind of took our eyes off the ball for a second. Had to be done though. It should be fine. Meatballs are looking pretty good. These can come out quite soon, I'd say. They're kind of cooked from both sides at this point. Okay, we have to be really careful with this one, because this one's like kind of falling apart. It looks pretty good. I think we're gonna take these out momentarily. Alright, I'm just gonna lift these onto the other plates and then, oh, my chat isn't cropped perfectly. It looks kind of weird. Oh well, we're gonna have to live with that. Can't change that. Actually, I might be able to change that now. Alright. I'm gonna be a little careful with this. Don't wanna drop a meatball off. Also don't wanna destroy the meatballs. So I'm just using the curvature of the pan and my spatula to lift them out, just like 2 at a time. And then we're gonna put in our new meatballs. We actually have a lot of grease in here, which means our tomato sauce is probably gonna be quite greasy. Some of them are turning into meat crumbs, but now it's looking good. Yeah, you have to, with that, you just have to be careful. This is like, there's a bunch of onion and meat in here and all that stuff. You have to be careful it doesn't burn. So don't have the heat too high. Just make sure that stuff doesn't burn. All right, next batch. I'm gonna wash my hands again because I just touched the meatballs. Now with something like beef, you don't have to be as careful. You can't get salmonella from beef and stuff. Beef is generally a lot less risky, so if you like touch some raw beef and you put your hand in your mouth, you shouldn't get sick usually. But I'm gonna be real, I don't like the feeling on my hands, so I'm gonna wash my hands after touching them. Alright, I think this is the time where I would start working on the sauce. Usually, I'm just gonna show this to you. I'm gonna hide the brand name. Usually, I just use this sauce from my local grocery store. I really like it, I think it's really good, but for the purposes of this video, we will be making our own tomato sauce. And I think it doesn't even take a lot of ingredients. I'm probably gonna use some of the basil we have. All right, first of all, these are, what do you call that? These are liquefied, emulsified, what do you call them? Basically, this is tomatoes, pureed tomatoes. And then we have tomato paste. I'm actually holding this. I held it wrongly. There we go. I'm gonna put some tomato paste in soon, once these meatballs are done cooking, and then I'm gonna put in the pureed tomatoes after. The tomato paste is optional, I'd say. It's just nice for flavor. All right, of course, you have to keep in mind, the pan is now hotter than when we started. So the second batch of meatballs here, it's gonna need less time, which is why I want to start checking on these already. They're like fairly brown. I don't know if you can see it too well on this one. But I wanna have them cook a little longer so they don't fall apart as easily. Are you cooking the sauce? I will be cooking the sauce. Those are not tomatoes, those are spices. Alright, alright. Uh-oh. See, now I've made an error. I tried to move this while it was still, while the crust was still building, while it was still getting seared, and now I can't move it anymore really because I have to wait till till I'll be able to unstick it without breaking it apart completely. All right. Legit, there's so much grease in this pan, I'm not sure if I can... You know what, so what? We'll make the tomato sauce a little greasy, it shouldn't be an issue. Oh wait, you know what, we have a fork for this. We don't need to use just one utensil. There we go. If you're gonna use a fork or something like that, or any sharp metal object, even if you're gonna use a metal spatula, if you have a Teflon pan, a pan with a non-stick coating, be careful using that sort of stuff because you can destroy the coating with some sharp objects. Wood and plastic are usually safer. So if you're gonna use like a metal spatula or you're gonna use a fork like I am right now, be careful with the coating. Ay. This one's pretty freaking stuck. Oh, you can see it. The color, this one's almost burned. It's pretty close to burnt, and that's also the way it smells. And the grease is roaring right now. I'm actually gonna go one lower on the heat because the grease is going crazy right now in this pan. Oh, this one over here, total disaster. It's completely demolished. But it should still hopefully stay in one piece. That one I would probably lift out when I'm making the sauce. I actually might lift all of them out when I'm making the sauce. Like I say, usually I don't make a sauce. I just use the store-bought one. But you know what? If we're gonna make it, we should make it properly, you know? Smoky meatballs. These I like them to be crispy. I think it's a nice contrast with the sauce and the noodles. Okay, the sizzling has definitely gone down since when I turned it down one, but it was getting too much for me. I wonder if I should check on the other sides by now. It's actually kind of, I'm gonna turn the heat back up again because it's a little too slow for me right now. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Yeah, okay. Nice. Now we have to be super careful with. Oh man, that thing is falling apart. Completely falling apart. Well, that'll happen. Okay, but these are also close to done. All right, you know what? If I'm not using my hands, I may as well give you guys a little. Oh shoot! What? 5% battery, dude? Oh no. That's really bad. Oh no. I need to see if I can plug my iPad in to charge it. I didn't pay attention to the battery at all. Shit. Is this cable long enough? I sure hope so. Thankfully, with the stand, it has two USB-C ports, so hopefully I can charge it and use the microphone at the same time. All right. Okay, it's charging. Phew! A crisis averted. It's either recharge or we're cooking in PC. Yeah, PC is probably not gonna happen. All right, speaking of, I don't know, speaking of nothing, apropos of nothing, I guess. I think these are done. So I'm gonna once again lift the pan, put these on the plate. Oh, one is really sticking. And there's a lot of meatball crumbs in here, I gotta say. But it's not a problem. They'll be in our sauce. We can use them. All right. Good. I'm gonna put in some tomato paste for the flavor. We're gonna fry the tomato paste a little. You do this for a lot of stuff, actually. You can actually use tomato paste for a bunch of sauces. Doesn't have to be tomato sauce. For example, in my curry, there's actually tomato paste. Actually, you know what? If you do red curry, a lot of it is actually tomato, but I think that's all the tomato paste we'll be needing, so I'm putting it back in the fridge before I forget. All right. Carney's cooking mama face. I don't have to cook as much as I used to since I'm living with my parents again. But I do cook now every once in a while. I do enjoy cooking. I just don't have a lot of time. But I think cooking is a very important life skill. I think it's something everybody should know how to do. Everybody should have at least a few dishes that they feel confident in cooking. Because I think it's also really rewarding. You can make something for somebody else and they like it, you feel really good. We're gonna deglaze this, that's what it's called, because like all this stuff is stuck to the pan. We will be deglazing this with some pureed tomatoes in a second. I need a scissor to open this. It's a carton. You know what, I might as well show it on camera. Also, we're getting a bit of black stuff in the sauce. We really need to be deglazing now. Also, we're gonna turn down the heat a bit because otherwise this stuff is gonna go everywhere. Because it's gonna boil instantly, as you can see by the bubbles. And if we don't want the sauce to like spray everywhere, we have to turn down the temperature a little bit. We can turn it up again once there's like more liquid in there and start reducing it. But for now, we're just gonna keep it like that. And this is gonna be pretty greasy, as you can see, but that's just, that's life, I guess. All right, now we're gonna turn the heat up again. We might even, I might turn it past 7, because we're gonna wanna reduce this sauce. Basically get some water out and get more flavor in. The more water you cook out, ideally, the more flavor this should have, right? So we're gonna bring it to a boil, the water's gonna come out, it's gonna reduce, it's gonna get thicker, and it's gonna get tastier. And it's actually, I think that's gonna be too hot, because it's gonna go everywhere. And I don't want to have red stains and everything. I'm gonna add some basil. I'm gonna taste it after this and gonna see if it needs some seasoning, if it needs salt and pepper. But for now, I'm just gonna reduce this a bit, because we're not gonna need that much sauce. Afterwards, I'm gonna put the thing on another burner, and then keep it warm. Put the meatballs back in while I make the noodles. And then like put the sauce over the noodles once we're done. I'm stirring this a bit so nothing sticks to the bottom and gets burned. Use your nose when something smells. Listen, once something's burned, you're not really gonna be able to get the burnt taste out of the sauce, so you have to be pretty careful. Stir it a bunch, just make sure nothing burns, you know. Don't go too crazy on the heat. Also need to kind of stir it so it doesn't make a massive mess. I'm gonna just show you this plate right here. It's full of like orange spots, which is just all the tomato sauce like spraying everywhere. Oh yeah, we should also probably put some cheese in the sauce. That's nice. The pre-made sauce that I buy also has some cheese in it. So I think we're gonna put some cheese in the sauce. Just let it melt in there. It's kind of going super crazy again. Sauce bubbling? Yeah. Bubbling is not really a problem. However, it can make quite a mess, and I'm gonna have to clean the stove and everything after that. Actually, I will also need to clean the floor. I should probably turn it down a bit more, because actually I don't want like getting it on the floor and on the stove and everything. That's fine. That's very easy to clean. Getting it on my clothes, not so much. All right, we're gonna put in some cheese. Ow! I'm getting hurt by the sauce bubbling. It's fairly thick now, the sauce. I do probably want it a little thicker. You can do that by melting in more cheese or by reducing it more. All right, I think I should try this like fairly soon. See how it tastes, see what it needs. I'm definitely gonna put some basil into this, especially since we have basil growing right here. Some fresh basil. Adam Ragusia puts parsley. We also have parsley. I think basil is just a little more traditional. Damn. Okay, this is getting really hot. I'm gonna have to turn it down to 5 now. All right. Now, if you're just like cooking for yourself and close family members, you can just use a spoon and taste it, and then reuse that spoon. If you're cooking for people you don't know that well, you don't want to get your mouth all in the sauce, use a spoon and then wipe it clean, or put it under the sink or something and then use it again. I'm taking a little bit on my spoon. I'm gonna blow on it so it's not too hot. Okay, this thing needs a ton of salt. I can already tell. It's probably gonna need pepper too. It basically tastes like nothing right now, which is pretty unfortunate because the cheese should have salt. I'm just dumping a bunch of salt and pepper in there because it basically just tastes like tomato right now.
What the hell is going on here? Smoky meatballs? Is it we charge and cook or we cooking in PC?
Mein iPad ist fast leer gegangen, deswegen. Ich habe hier das Ladekabel. Alright. Okay.
Danach auch wieder sauber?
Das machst du? Ich koche für dich.
Was hast du getan? What the hell? Chat. Carly just said he's not cleaning the kitchen.
Die können dich nicht hören. Mein Mikro ist hier an meinem Hals, bro. Sorry, I'm talking to my brother. I just told him he has to cook he's gonna have to clean the kitchen after this because I'm cooking. All right, let's try how it tastes now. Der wird kleiner dadurch, aber es hat leider nicht so gut geklappt. All right, let's try it again. Yeah, that's a lot better. I still want more salt. I still want more pepper. And that's like everything with cooking. Just like keep trying it, keep adding stuff until you like how it tastes, basically. Also, I know usually people will they'll take a bunch of salt, they'll use their fingers to throw it in there. They're not going to use a salt shaker. But the salt, I just have really sweaty hands, and so the salt just gets stuck on my hand, and that's not really convenient at all. You could also probably put some white wine in this if you felt so inclined. Would probably also go pretty hard. If you're gonna put white wine in it, be sure to reduce it until all the alcohol is out, because otherwise it tastes bad and otherwise you might get drunk. Yeah, I think it's a lot better now. I think you add some basil, and I think this is basically done. So I'm gonna put it on another burner. I'm gonna keep the heat really low so it just stays warm, and then I'm gonna work on the noodles. All right, let's turn this off. Problem is I have this freaking cable going across. I can put it on the burner like right next to me. Okay, my pasta package is completely covered in orange spots from this sauce, but that's just life. Also, I actually don't have to cook pasta. My mom actually made all the spaghetti in advance already. I just want to show you guys, so you know how to do it. But it's actually really easy. I don't know. Ich weiß nicht, ob man... Das ist halt komplett fest, ne?
Ja.
I don't know. My brother just asked me what we're gonna do about the garlic powder. Please don't flip off the camera. All right. Water in a pot. I'm gonna make it like about 3/4 full. I can just show you guys in a second. Some people believe that you have to throw the pasta in the boiling water. I have talked to a chef. It doesn't make a difference if you put the pasta in the water and then boil it, or if you throw it in boiling water. Cook my meat. Whoa, dude. I'm just making food over here, dude. All right, crank this to max right away. Put your water on max, like it's 9 for me. Very high heat, get it boiling as quickly as possible. I'm gonna put the other burner where the sauce is on 2 right now. I'm actually gonna put all the meatballs in there as well. I'm being careful not to drop them from too far above, otherwise the sauce will splash everywhere. Nope. All right. There you go. That looks very nice. I'm gonna show you guys a little better. Ta-da! Marvelous. All right, water is currently getting to a boil. Oh wait, I already have salt. I would probably, actually, you know what? I'm gonna use a bit of this is just like a carton full of salt. It just has a corner cut off. You can just like dump a bunch of salt in there. You know what? With this, it's all vibes based. You kind of have to know how much to put. If not, you can go look at a recipe, what the correct water to salt ratio is. After a while, you're gonna develop a feeling for it. I would recommend not starting with too much salt, because you can always add salt later. If you have too much salt and you boil your pasta in it, you are kind of just screwed. All right, I'm only gonna make very little noodles, okay? Because like I said, we already have them. We already have them cooked. So this is more for demonstration rather than anything, just so you guys know how to do it. But usually cooking noodles is like one of the easiest things in the world. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably should have put less salt because I'm only cooking so few noodles. But you know what? It'll be fine. And if not, you know, if it gets oversalted, my brother can just eat it. All right, I would probably, you don't really need a utensil for this. As you can see, the spaghetti are kind of too long at the moment. You can break them in half if you want. I don't care about that thing because I'm gonna be cutting them with my knife and fork later anyway, because I'm gonna be completely real. Having super long spaghetti and like twirling them up on a spoon is very annoying, and I will not be doing that in my personal life. If you're Italian, I'm sorry. I don't know. I think I'll probably just use a wooden spoon for this. Alright. Alright, but if you don't break them, like the bottom of the spaghetti, I can actually show you a bit. They're gonna get soft, obviously, and then the rest of the spaghetti will be able to fit in the pot eventually. It'll just like slide in. So that's a pan. The thing I'm using, whoa, okay, we have to be careful. Listen, if the water's about to boil over, it's quicker to lift the pot off the stove than it is to turn down the heat, okay? Just watch it. make sure it doesn't boil over. If it boils over, it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of annoying to clean. And you're going to be losing some water. All right, all the spaghetti are in the pot now. If you want to speed it up, I have it on 7 right now. The water's on a boil, as you can see. If you want to speed it up, you can put the lid on. That'll make it go a lot faster. Putting the lid on, however, also has a bigger risk of making the pot boil over. So if you're gonna have the lid on it, just make sure to check on it pretty regularly, or it'll boil over. Schlecht für Audio. And now we just wait. You can set a timer to see how long your pasta takes to cook or whatever. But for me, I just feel it. Like, I'll just look at it and then I'll be like, I wonder if this is soft enough after some time. And then I'll taste it. And if it's too hard for me, I'll cook it some more. And if it's soft, then then it's done. My brother talks about throwing it on the wall and seeing if it sticks or not as a way to test if the spaghetti are done. I think that's a bit of an unnecessary mess, for me at least. Dude, AKG said this is gonna take 20 minutes, man. We're at an hour already.
Tom, das wird hier nicht in die Waschmaschine gestellt.
Ja.
Spülmaschine.
And just make sure the water's like boiling constantly. I could turn up the burner higher, but if I'm gonna turn it up higher, I'm just gonna have to take the pot off the stove like right away because it's gonna boil over. So I'm just gonna keep it a little lower. It might take a little bit longer that way, but at least I don't have to worry about it boiling over. I could actually start cleaning while I'm doing this already, or do some other stuff. This. My brother actually already cleaned up. I think I'm gonna prepare a plate already, so I can plate it nicely. Maybe if you upload some part of your cooking into one short video, Lionfield might see your spaghetti and react to it. I don't know who Lionfield is. But you know what? Having like Adam Ragusia seeing me cooking his food, his recipe, that would be a dream come true, to be honest. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll turn it into a short. But I would have to like cut a lot, and I'd probably have to do some voiceover or something. And the problem is like these shots, they're not very good, right? Like this shot is far from ideal. Ideally, you would want like the camera like right above it or like at a slight angle or something. This is just better for a stream because I have to use my hands and I have to be like hands-free. Maybe if I had a freaking GoPro or like a camcorder or something, it could be better, but I wouldn't even know how to stream from that. I think that would also be annoying. Actually, I'm gonna turn the heat up a little because I don't want to be here all day. After I'm done cooking, I'm gonna end stream. I'm gonna go live again. Wow! I looked away for 1 second and see what happens. See, that's why you gotta be careful. My whole shit just boiled over. That's really annoying because this field is a touch thingy, which means like if I want to operate this, I have to touch the stove, and now there's hot water all over it. So I turned it up to 9. I looked away for a second. It boiled over instantly. So be cautious, okay? This is not that big of a deal. I should probably turn off the heat and like clean the water, like get the water out. My mom very recently was just like, hey, make sure shit doesn't boil over because it'll get in between like the kitchen stuff, and it'll get into the wood, and then the wood is gonna go all weird. There are Italians who react to videos, and they're pretty famous. Okay, I haven't heard of them. I'm just gonna get some paper towels and clean this up. Be careful not to burn yourself. This water is hot. I'm keeping my fingers away from the boiling water to not burn myself, or I guess scald myself is the more accurate term. I just need to get this like dry again, and then I can keep cooking. It's not that big of a deal with induction, honestly. I think with other stuff, it's a little more annoying if you have like a proper gas burner or an electric stove. But with an induction stovetop, it's not annoying. Not as annoying, at least. All right, I'm gonna turn it back up to 7. I'm gonna keep it there so it doesn't happen again. Throw away the paper towels. Adam Ragusa is also Italian, which, you know, you might be able to tell from his name. So I think he can be trusted on meatball recipes. Michelin cook? Yeah, totally. Michelin star chef Carnivorex. maybe in another life. I did consider becoming a chef, but I don't know if it's right for me. Probably not. I still like cooking at home though. Very fun. I wonder how far along these spaghetti are. These are whole grain spaghetti, by the way. So either like, you might know your spaghetti a little brighter, a little more yellow, a little less brown. These are like whole grain, which means they're like healthier, but I think they taste a little worse. I'm gonna be real with you, these do not look done even a little bit. I'm gonna still try one though. Yep, they're gonna need a while, but I think at least the salt content is good. There's also this term al dente, you might have heard of it. Al dente is just like, I guess not fully cooked, just like a little bit hard. Some people like their pasta that way. Me personally, I like either way, really. Okay, 8 is just too high, unfortunately. We have to stay on 7. I just want to see him eating the spaghetti. You guys want to watch me eat? I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to eat on camera. It feels a little weird. I will at least try it on stream. Hold on. While we're chilling, let me put in some basil. I wonder if I can show you guys. Dude, my iPad is not charging in the slightest. It is stuck on 5%, which means if I unplug it, it's not gonna be so good. Oh, dude, that basil smell goes crazy though. All right, I'm just washing it quickly, and I'm gonna. Let me move this so you can see a little better. I'm just gonna tear some basil into the tomato sauce. Looks good and tastes good, you know? Very, very authentic, very Italian. Bone apple tea? Yes, ma'am. Actually, you know what? If I'm gonna stir it, you know what? I'm gonna keep a bit of the basil and then put it over the finished dish. I actually think this is already enough. I'm just gonna stir it around a little. Gotta be careful. This pan is quite full. I will have to show you guys how you drain pasta though. That's pretty important. There's multiple ways of doing it. Looking good? Yeah. I hope you know, the thing is, I could just lie to you guys about how it tastes and you will never know. It tasting good is more important than it looking good. So I'm gonna be honest, and if I'm like, oh, I messed it up, well then, you know, maybe don't follow my recipe too exactly, but it's also gonna be hard because I'm not giving any measurements, so. I think the boiling is coming through on the microphone, which is kind of nice. Kind of good vibes. Like a nice fireplace maybe. All right, how are the noodles? Kind of annoying with spaghetti, like getting a spaghetti on your fork is actually such a chore. They'll just slide right off. Very annoying. You just have to trap one somehow. Nope. Nope. I think I got one. Nope. Dude. I'm so close to just using my hands. But they're hot, you know? Okay, I got it. I don't want no pretend, I want the truth. You'll get the truth, don't worry. Okay, spaghetti are almost done. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Like, you don't need to set a timer. Just feel the spaghetti with a fork or